Welcome to Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast. Get ready, because today we're diving headfirst into the wonderfully weird world of Bill Murray.
That's right.
Forget the usual Hollywood tales. We've got like a treasure trove of stories that peel back the layers of this comedic legend, revealing a journey just packed with surprises. Our mission, to unearth the most captivating and unexpected moments from his truly original life.
Absolutely. Think of this as an adventure, not just a biography. What's immediately striking is how the early chapters of his life, long before the bright lights of Hollywood, seem to have set the stage for the unpredictable, often hilarious, and sometimes dramatic character we've come to know.
Okay, let's jump right in then. William James Murray arrived on the scene September 21st, 1950 in Evanston, Illinois. And can you believe it? He was one of 8 kids in a big Irish Catholic family.
8 kids! Wow!
Clearly, the Murray household was never a dull place. And it seems a funny bone runs in the genes. 3 of his brothers, Brian Doyle Murray, Joel Murray, and John Murray, also found their way into acting.
That strong family dynamic, rooted in their Irish heritage, paternal grandparents from County Cork, maternal from County Galway, must have been a powerful early influence. You can almost imagine the lively dinner table conversations, right?
Definitely.
But life took a serious turn when his father sadly passed away young, at just 46, due to diabetes complications. Bill was only 17.
Oh, wow.
That kind of loss at a formative age can really, reshape a person's trajectory.
It does. And even before that, there were hints of the unique path he was going to take. Apparently, young Bill was fascinated by the lives of American heroes, the adventurous types like Kit Carson, Wild Bill Hickok, Davy Crockett.
Right, those figures.
You can almost see that independent spirit taking root early on, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it's fascinating how seemingly unrelated experiences can weave together to form a personality. To pay for his Jesuit high school, he worked as a golf caddy.
The caddy.
Think about that, a young Bill Murray, navigating the world of golf courses, observing all sorts of people. That's got to be rich training ground for a comedic actor's eye for detail.
For sure.
And get this, before he was cracking jokes on TV, he was the lead singer of a rock band called the Dutch Masters.
No way, a rock band.
Yeah, so the performing bug bit him early, seems like.
And then a real curveball on the road to, well, anything expected. He briefly enrolled in pre-med at Regis University in Denver.
Pre-med.
Pre-med,
Yeah.
It sounds like a completely different person. But that didn't last, and he returned to Illinois. And here's a moment that truly stands out, kind of a wild story.
Okay.
On his 20th birthday, he was arrested at O'Hare Airport trying to smuggle 10 pounds of cannabis.
10 pounds.
Yeah. He was convicted and put on probation. Talk about an unexpected detour in the making of a comedic icon. That's a pretty unique early situation, isn't it?
That's a pivotal early chapter, absolutely. It speaks to a willingness to step outside the lines, a rebellious energy that, as you said, seems to echo in some of his on-screen and even off-screen choices later in life. It makes you wonder how that experience, that brush with the unconventional, might have subtly shaped his comedic sensibilities, that slightly irreverent edge he's known for.
Well, that unconventional path soon led him to comedy. His older brother Brian actually played a key role here, inviting him to join the legendary Chicago improv troupe, the Second City.
Right, Second City.
Imagine the creative explosion happening there, the training ground for so many comedic giants. He honed his skills under Del Close, a true guru of improv.
The Second City is like a pressure cooker for comedic talent. It demands quick wit, collaboration, and the ability to think on your feet. That intense training in improvisation is so evident in his work, that feeling that anything could happen, that willingness to go off script and find the funny in the unexpected.
And from the Chicago improv scene, it was off to New York City and the National Lampoon Radio Hour in 1974. He was actually recruited by John Belushi himself.
Belushi, yeah. That's some serious early validation in the comedy world.
Right.
It is. The National Lampoon was a hotbed for sharp, satirical humor. It was a natural progression towards the show that would make him a national star, Saturday Night Live.
SNL. From 1977 to 1980, Bill Murray became a household name. And it wasn't just his performances. He won an Emmy for his writing on the show.
Yeah, for right to...
He wasn't just funny, he was a brilliant comedic mind. He even created this hilarious character, Bill Murray the K, a spot-on parody of the radio host Murray the K.
What's fascinating about his time on SNL is how quickly he became essential to the show's dynamic. After Chevy Chase's departure, he really stepped into a leading role, defining a particular brand of cool, sarcastic humor that audiences absolutely connected with. And his romantic relationship with Gilda Radner during those early seasons gives you a glimpse into the intense, creative, and, personal connections forged in that groundbreaking environment.
Then came the big screen. His first starring role was in the summer camp classic, Meatballs, in 1979. It's hard to imagine a more perfect vehicle for his early comedic energy.
Meatballs really captured that irreverent, anything-goes spirit that was becoming his trademark. It was a box office hit and established him as a comedic leading man.
Big time.
Following that success, he took on a very different kind of role, portraying the wildly eccentric Hunter S. Thompson in Where the Buffalo Roam.
Right, Thompson. That was early.
Yeah, even early on, he was showing a willingness to stretch beyond pure slapstick.
And then the early 80s brought the beginning of an iconic comedic partnership with Harold Ramis. We're talking comedy gold. Caddyshack in 1980 and Stripes in 1981.
Oh, yeah.
These are films that are still making people laugh today.
The chemistry between Murray and Ramis was just magic. They seemed to share a comedic language that translated perfectly onto film. Caddyshack, in particular, with Murray's unforgettable groundskeeper, Carl Spackler,
Oh, Carl Spackler.
is a masterclass in comedic chaos. Stripes continued that trend of him playing the lovable, wisecracking rebel.
He even found time for a memorable supporting role in the classic Tootsie in 1982, further solidifying his place in Hollywood.
Yeah, he was great in Tootsie.
And get this, he was the very first guest on Late Night with David Letterman in 1982.
The very first one.
And then, in an amazing full-circle moment, he was also the final guest when Letterman retired in 2015. Talk about coming full circle.
That connection with Letterman really underscores his enduring presence in popular culture. He was there at the dawn of a late-night era and there at its close. It's incredible.
But then came a surprisingly bold move. He co-wrote and starred in The Razor's Edge in 1984, his first dramatic lead role.
A big swing.
This was clearly a passion project, a real departure. But it unfortunately didn't resonate with audiences at the box office. Kind of flopped, actually.
The Razor's Edge was a significant gamble, a clear indication of his desire to be seen as more than just a comedic actor. While it didn't achieve commercial success, it speaks volumes about his artistic ambition. And here's an interesting piece of Hollywood lore. He actually agreed to star in Ghostbusters that same year.
Ah, the trade-off.
In order to secure financing for The Razor's Edge. The irony, of course, is that the film, intended to support his passion project, became a monumental hit.
Unbelievable.
The highest-grossing film of 1984, and at the time, the highest-grossing comedy ever.
Ghostbusters, the movie that defined a generation.
Yeah.
And he revisited that iconic role as Dr. Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters II in 1989, and of course in more recent projects, showing the lasting power of that character.
The phenomenal success of Ghostbusters cemented his status as a true movie star. That unique blend of deadpan delivery and cynical charm was perfectly embodied in Peter Venkman.
Now, after the disappointment of The Razor's Edge, he did something truly unexpected. He took a 4-year break from acting.
Just walked away for a bit.
Yeah. But he wasn't just relaxing. He actually spent time studying philosophy and history at the Sorbonne University in Paris and dedicated himself to his family.
The Sorbonne.
That's a pretty profound step back from the Hollywood whirlwind.
That hiatus really highlights his independent spirit and a desire for experiences far beyond the confines of the entertainment industry. It suggests a level of self-awareness and a need for intellectual stimulation that you don't often see in mainstream actors.
He returned to the screen with Scrooged in 1988 and Ghostbusters II, showing he hadn't lost his comedic spark. Then, the 90s brought even more intriguing developments. He co-directed Quick Change in 1990.
His only directing credit, right?
Yeah, which remains his only directorial effort.
Directing's a whole different ballgame. And the fact that he only helmed one film suggests he might have found his true calling in performing rather than the multifaceted demands of being a director. Maybe just wasn't for him.
Could be. He also starred in the incredibly funny What About Bob in 1991.
Hilarious.
And then in the critically acclaimed Groundhog Day in 1993. Groundhog Day is just a brilliant piece of storytelling, and his performance is often cited as one of his very best.
Groundhog Day really demonstrated his ability to infuse comedy with a deeper, almost philosophical dimension. It's a film that reveals new layers with each viewing, and his portrayal of Phil Connor's journey of transformation is truly masterful. It marked a shift towards more nuanced and character-driven roles.
We've reached the midpoint of our deep dive into the captivating story of Bill Murray, and what a ride it's been. From that early cannabis charge to becoming a comedic icon, his journey is full of twists and turns.
Absolutely. We've explored the formative years, the pivotal moments, and the sheer unpredictability that defines his remarkable career. It's quite a story.
Now, if you're loving these deep dives into the lives of fascinating figures as much as we are, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on future explorations into more incredible stories right here on Tell Me More.
Welcome back to Tell Me More. Before the break, we were following Bill Murray's rise through comedy and his surprising hiatus. The 90s continued to showcase his versatility with a range of different roles.
He popped up in supporting roles in films like Tim Burton's Ed Wood in 1994
Great little part.
and the quirky bowling comedy Kingpin in 1996, proving he could shine even in smaller parts. And in a moment of pure 90s nostalgia, he even played himself alongside Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
Space Jam, those supporting roles really highlighted his willingness to contribute to interesting projects, even if he wasn't the main focus. And Space Jam was just a fun, iconic moment in pop culture, wasn't it? His signature deadpan humor fit perfectly into that animated world.
Totally. However, he also had some leading roles during this period that didn't quite achieve the same level of success, with films like Larger Than Life and The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Yeah, not everything hit.
It's a reminder that even for the biggest stars, not every project is a home run.
That's the unpredictable nature of the film industry. But what's truly significant is how he continued to evolve and reinvent himself. His role in Wes Anderson's Rushmore in 1998 was often seen as a critical turning point, earning him widespread acclaim and numerous Best Supporting Actor awards.
Rushmore was a revelation. His portrayal of the melancholic industrialist Herman Bloom was just brilliant, a perfect blend of dry wit and underlying sadness. It marked the beginning of a beautiful and enduring collaboration with Wes Anderson.
That partnership really seemed to unlock a new depth and nuance in his acting. Anderson's unique, stylized worlds provided the perfect canvas for Murray's singular sensibilities.
Definitely.
He followed Rushmore with more dramatic roles in Wild Things in 1998 and Cradle Will Rock in 1999, further demonstrating his expanding range.
The 2000s marked what many consider a true dramatic resurgence for him. He took on the role of Polonius in a modern film adaptation of Hamlet in 2000.
Polonius.
Which is certainly not a role you'd automatically associate with Bill Murray.
That willingness to tackle such classic material in an unexpected way speaks to his ambition and his desire to challenge himself beyond comedic roles. It showed a serious commitment to the craft of acting.
He then reunited with Wes Anderson for the wonderfully quirky The Royal Tenenbaums in 2001.
Another great one.
But it was in 2003 that he delivered a performance that many consider his absolute finest. His starring role in Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation.
Oh, definitely.
He won Golden Globe and BAFTA awards and received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for his unforgettable portrayal of Bob Harris.
Lost in Translation is a masterpiece of subtle emotion, and Murray's performance is incredibly nuanced. He conveyed so much with just a look or a quiet line. It's a film he himself considers his favorite, which speaks volumes about his connection to the material.
And then, in a bit of classic Bill Murray randomness, he voiced Garfield in Garfield, the movie in 2004 and its sequel.
Garfield, right.
He later admitted he took the role, thinking the writer was Joel Coen of the Coen brothers fame.
No way. That's amazing.
That's a quintessential Bill Murray story right there.
That anecdote perfectly illustrates his somewhat detached and whimsical approach to his career. It's almost accidental brilliance.
Totally.
He continued his collaboration with Anderson in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou in 2004 and reunited with Jim Jarmusch in Broken Flowers in 2005, both films further showcasing his unique screen presence and understated style.
Interestingly, he announced another hiatus from acting in 2005, citing a need for a slower pace after a particularly busy period.
Another break.
Even at the height of critical acclaim, he felt the need to step back and recharge.
It reinforces this idea of him operating outside the typical Hollywood system, prioritizing his own well-being and personal interests over the relentless pursuit of more work. He did return for memorable cameos in Anderson's The Darjeeling Limited and Get Smart, and had a more substantial role in the intriguing City of Ember in 2008.
The late 2000s saw him taking on the independent film Get Low in 2009, hilariously playing himself in the cult classic Zombieland.
Zombieland cameo, yes.
And lending his voice to the charming Mr. Badger in Anderson's stop-motion animated film Fantastic Mr. Fox. He was keeping busy, but on his own terms.
That period really demonstrated a nice balance between smaller, character-driven independent films, mainstream comedic appearances, and his ongoing creative partnerships with directors who clearly understood his unique talents.
The 2010s were marked by continued success and a lot of fantastic ensemble work. He starred as Franklin D. Roosevelt in Hyde Park on Hudson in 2012, earning another Golden Globe nomination for his portrayal.
His performance as FDR was surprisingly warm and insightful. It showcased his ability to embody historical figures with both gravitas and a touch of his characteristic charm.
And he became a recurring and beloved presence in Wes Anderson's films throughout the decade, appearing in the visually stunning and narratively rich Moonrise Kingdom, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Isle of Dogs.
Just keep showing up.
Each a unique cinematic experience.
Their collaboration truly became a reliable source of interesting and memorable performances. He fits so perfectly into Anderson's meticulously crafted and whimsical worlds. It just works.
It really does. He was also part of the all-star cast of George Clooney's The Monuments Men in 2014 and gave a wonderful performance in St. Vincent that same year, earning yet another Golden Globe nomination.
St. Vincent was great.
He even lent his iconic voice to Baloo in Jon Favreau's blockbuster adaptation of The Jungle Book in 2016.
His voice work as Baloo was absolutely delightful, bringing his signature charm and laid-back energy to a beloved character.
Perfect casting.
And of course, he made appearances in both the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot and Ghostbusters. Afterlife in 2021, acknowledging and embracing his enduring legacy with that iconic franchise.
In a more unexpected and perhaps controversial move, he even played Steve Bannon on Saturday Night Live in 2018.
Bannon, yeah. That certainly sparked discussion and showed his willingness to engage with contemporary issues through his comedic lens, even if it meant a temporary return to his SNL roots in a very different context.
Definitely got people talking. The 2020s have seen him reprising his unforgettable Groundhog Day role for a clever Super Bowl commercial in 2020.
That was fun.
Reunited with Sofia Coppola for the acclaimed film On the Rocks, and continuing his collaboration with Wes Anderson in The French Dispatch. He remains as active and creatively engaged as ever.
He continues to seek out interesting projects with talented filmmakers, demonstrating a commitment to his craft that transcends genre or the size of the production. He just keeps going.
Beyond his incredible acting career, Bill Murray has a truly fascinating array of other passions and pursuits. He's a partner in the Murray Bros. Caddyshack restaurant.
Right, the restaurant.
Which is a fun, tangible extension of his Caddyshack legacy. But here's a truly unique and almost unbelievable fact. Back in 1978, he actually stepped up to the plate for the Grays Harbor Loggers, a minor league baseball team, for 2 at-bats.
Seriously, minor league baseball.
Yeah, and get this, he got a hit, giving him a .500 batting average. Can you imagine seeing Bill Murray step into the batter's box?
That's an absolutely fantastic story. It perfectly encapsulates his playful approach to life and his willingness to embrace the unexpected. It's the kind of anecdote that really makes his biography so compelling.
It really is.
And his long-standing involvement with the St. Paul Saints minor league baseball team, where he was a co-owner for years and even earned an induction into the South Atlantic League Hall of Fame, shows a genuine and enduring love for the sport that goes far beyond that one memorable appearance.
He even launched his own apparel brand, William Murray Golf, in 2016, perfectly blending his passion for golf with his own distinct sense of style.
The golf clothes, yeah.
And in a completely different artistic endeavor, he released a studio album in 2017 called New Worlds, featuring him singing and reciting literature alongside classical musicians.
Singing and reciting. Wow.
It's another layer to his incredibly diverse creative output.
That album is a fascinating example of his artistic curiosity and his desire to explore different forms of expression. It reveals a deeper appreciation for music and the written word.
And in 2022, he presented New Worlds, The Cradle of Civilization, a recorded performance with the acclaimed cellist Jan Vogler. It really seems his creative energy has no limits.
It truly doesn't. And all of these diverse endeavors contribute to his unique and enduring public image. He's seen as a genuine original, a kind of folk hero in American popular culture, celebrated for his eccentric humor and that wonderfully detached persona.
It's almost unbelievable that he doesn't have a traditional agent or manager. He reportedly fields offers through a personal phone number and checks his messages at his own pace.
The 1-800 number, right? Or something like that?
Something like that. That level of independence from the Hollywood machinery is almost unheard of for someone of his stature.
It speaks to the incredible confidence he's earned and his ability to operate entirely on his own terms. He's built such a strong reputation that people are willing to navigate his unconventional system if they have a project they believe is a good fit for him.
He's also known to have homes in various locations across the U.S., living life very much on his own schedule. There was even a report of him being pulled over for allegedly driving a golf cart under the influence in Sweden back in 2007.
The golf cart incident. Classic. The man seems to generate legendary stories wherever he goes.
He really does.
That incident certainly adds to the Bill Murray mystique. And it's important to remember that behind the comedic facade, he's also navigated personal challenges. He's spoken about experiencing symptoms of depression and finding comfort in art and music.
He's even a student of the teachings of G.I. Gurdjieff, which hints at a deeper philosophical side to his life.
Gurdjieff, yeah. Interesting.
And he's the godfather to Wes Anderson's daughter, revealing the strong personal connections he forms with the people he works closely with.
Those personal relationships seem to be incredibly important to him, especially given his somewhat unconventional approach to the industry. He's also a famously devoted fan of Chicago sports teams, particularly the Cubs.
Oh, the Cubs.
And was there to witness their historic 2016 World Series victory.
His enthusiasm for the Cubs is legendary. He's participated in team events and is a true diehard fan. He even took part in a tandem parachute jump with the U.S. Army parachute team Golden Knights back in 2008.
Parachute jump. Okay. The list of his unexpected adventures just keeps growing.
Never stops.
It truly does. He served as MC for Eric Clapton's Crossroads Guitar Festival multiple times, further highlighting his eclectic interests and the diverse circles he moves in. And his son, Luke, is an assistant coach for the Yukon Huskies men's basketball team.
Right, Yukon.
And Bill has been a visible and enthusiastic supporter at their games, even during their recent championship run.
He's also openly discussed his religious beliefs, including an affection for the traditional Latin Mass, revealing another facet of his multifaceted personality. And he's made political donations and expressed his views on issues like tax cuts, showing he's engaged with the broader world.
He's also used his platform for philanthropic endeavors, notably donating to the construction of the Natalie Salmon House for low-income seniors. So alongside the eccentricities, there's a clear element of compassion and a desire to give back to the community.
Now, to get a full picture, it's important to acknowledge that Bill Murray has also faced reports of conflicts and allegations of misconduct throughout his career.
Right. This part needs addressing, too.
He's been described as having mood swings, even earning the somewhat infamous nickname, the Murricane.
It's crucial to address these accounts based on what has been reported. There have been stories of clashes with various individuals on set, including Chevy Chase during an SNL appearance,
That one's pretty famous.
Sean Young during the filming of Stripes, Richard Dreyfuss during What About Bob?
The ashtray story.
Yeah, and an alleged incident involving producer Laura Ziskin, and perhaps most notably with his longtime collaborator Harold Ramis during the making of Groundhog Day.
Yes, and the falling out with Harold Ramis, his close friend and creative partner during Groundhog Day, was a significant and well-documented period, although they did eventually reconcile before Ramis's passing.
Which is good they did.
Yeah? There have also been alleged incidents involving Lucy Liu during the production of Charlie's Angels and claims made by the director McGann.
Sofia Coppola mentioned some challenges during the filming of a particular scene in Lost in Translation, and Angelica Houston recounted a less than smooth working relationship during The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. More seriously, there have been allegations of harassment, including a reported incident involving photographer Peter Simon in 2018.
Most recently, the production of the film Being Mortal was suspended in 2022 due to allegations of inappropriate behavior, which reportedly led to a settlement.
Right, the Being Mortal situation.
And actress Gina Davis has publicly shared her account of alleged harassment during the filming of Quick Change and an uncomfortable encounter on the Arsenio Hall show. Actor Seth Green has also recounted an alleged incident from his childhood on the set of Saturday Night Live.
Actor Rob Schneider has also publicly stated that Murray was not fond of Adam Sandler and Chris Farley during their time together on SNL. It's worth noting that director Wes Anderson has publicly defended Murray in the face of some of these claims.
It presents a complex and sometimes contradictory picture, and it's important for you, the listener, to be aware of these various accounts as part of understanding the nuances of his long and impactful career.
These reports inevitably raise important discussions about professional conduct, power dynamics within the entertainment industry, and the challenges of navigating interpersonal relationships in high-pressure creative environments. It's complicated stuff.
So what does it all add up to? Bill Murray's story is a powerful reminder of a truly unique individual navigating a complex world, leaving an indelible mark through his extraordinary talent and his completely singular way of being.
From those early brushes with the law to achieving critical acclaim in independent cinema, his journey has been anything but predictable. He has consistently defied convention and carved out his own distinctive space in the landscape of Hollywood.
His remarkable ability to effortlessly blend often absurd and deadpan comedy with moments of genuine and profound emotion has captivated audiences for decades.
Definitely.
He's a performer who can elicit uproarious laughter one moment and then evoke a deep sense of reflection the next.
And his continued willingness to take risks, to collaborate with both established and emerging filmmakers, and to pursue his remarkably diverse range of interests outside the realm of acting ensures that his career and his public persona remain perpetually fascinating.
Here's a final thought for you. Considering Bill Murray's famously unconventional approach to his career, from his no-agent policy to his seemingly spontaneous real-life interactions that often become legendary tales, how much does that perceived authenticity, for better or worse, contribute to achieving true iconic status in a world as carefully constructed as Hollywood? It's definitely something to ponder long after our deep dive concludes.
It raises compelling questions about the nature of celebrity, the ever-evolving relationship between the artist and the audience, and ultimately what it truly takes to become an unforgettable figure in popular culture. A great question to leave folks with.
Thank you for joining us on Tell Me More Stories Told Us podcast. Until our next adventure, keep exploring the stories all around you.